Here's the bottom line, folks. When those in power, specifically political power, compel you to do something unethical or immoral, you disobey. If you need a case study, just look to the Magi. The story of the Magi celebrates the revelation of God. It's a story about vision. This is the heart of what we celebrate. Once we see, we are no longer the same and can no longer travel the same way. We see everything from a new perspective. The invitation for us today is not just to remember that the glory of God, Jesus, was born thousands of years ago to a refugee family, and a corrupt ruler wanted to kill that baby, Jesus. The invitation, our challenge, is to strive to incarnate, literally, to embody the wisdom of Jesus in our lives, in our homes, communities, and families. Today, let's think about the wise ones, the people who have served as stars to guide us, providing clarity and light, especially in times of darkness. Allow me to highlight just three. He died last Sunday, Jimmy Carter, who served as the 39th president of the United States from 1977 to 1981. Think about where you were in those days. Jimmy will forever be remembered not only as the first president to live to 100, but as a humanitarian, servant leader, and a prolific author. After leaving office for 40 years, Carter continued to model what a life of service looks like, winning the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002, creating the Carter Center, whose mission is to wage peace and eradicate parasitic diseases. The center's initiatives in 80 countries range from conflict mediation to health education to election observance. With his wife, Rosalind, the Carters emerged as the unofficial face of Habitat for Humanity, investing a week a year for more than 35 years to build, renovate, and repair 4,400 homes. And at the age of 76, while remaining active in his local Baptist church, Jimmy Carter disaffiliated from the Southern Baptist Convention because their leadership demeaned women as subservient to men. Throughout his life, Jimmy Carter was not afraid to acknowledge that denial of human rights to anyone negatively impacts all of us. Our second example, he died on December 13th. Father Jim Callan, a priest who served the people of Rochester, New York for 48 years. Father Jim was assigned administrator of Corpus Christi Church in Rochester, a poor urban parish, in 1976. Over the next 22 years, parish attendance grew from a couple of hundred to 3,000 people. Father Jim, with the aid of the Spirit, enabled this transformation by involving people in decision-making and encouraging outreach to the poor, the homeless, the imprisoned, abused women, ex-cons. Conservatives complained to the bishop and ultimately the Vatican about three practices introduced in imitation of Jesus that led to Father Jim's being removed as pastor in 1998. Those practices were allowing women to participate at the Eucharistic celebration at the altar, welcoming and marrying gay and lesbian couples, and inviting everyone to come to the communion table, because about a third of the parish community were Protestant. Mary Rammerman, the parish administrator and associate pastor, the woman who hung out at the altar, was fired. The parish split into three groups. One, happy to stay and follow the rules. The second, disillusioned and who drifted away. And the third group, who followed Mary Rammerman, Father Jim, who had been suspended, and the parish staff, and formed what evolved to be Spiritus Christi, a renewed independent Catholic church. What a joy to watch Father Jim's funeral on Spiritus Christi's YouTube channel and see three women bishops, including Jean Marchant, the Bishop of the Eastern Region of RCWP, and 5 women priests gathered around the altar. Father Jim Callan dedicated his life to the belief that everybody is worthy. And third, at the risk of thinking that the wise ones who serve as guides must be dead, let me share a story about medical mission sister Miriam Trey's Winter. I think on the 22nd, we all sang, "Oh, for a Word." I think that was the 4th Sunday of Advent, my dad's visitation, and Carol so graciously covered my responsibility because I haven't figured out how to be in Pennsylvania and New Jersey concurrently. But Miriam Trey's was the person who wrote that song. And believe it or not, she and I first met when I was in 7th grade in 1968 and lived in northern New Jersey. The Medical Mission Sisters were performing a concert at our parish to promote the album Joy is Like the Rain. I mean, anybody remember that? I mean, my roots. But anyway, fast forward 56 years and we reconnect in Fox Chase, a neighborhood in Northeast Philadelphia. And since October, I've had the opportunity to spend several days collaborating with MT on an archive project. So in addition to writing and performing music, MT had traveled the world, broken, let's just say, more than a few barriers, and developed the Women's Leadership Institute at Hartford International University of Religion and Peace up in Hartford. What a joy to connect and listen to stories of MT's travels. She is a prolific writer, having written numerous books, and one of her books is entitled Out of the Depths, the story of Ludmila Javarova, ordained Roman Catholic priest. Ludmila was ordained in 1970 in the underground church of Czechoslovakia, which emerged as an immediate response to the communist takeover. The collapse of the Iron Curtain in 1990 ended Ludmila's priestly activities at the command of Rome. At 92, Ludmila still lives in Brno, in the Czech Republic. 3 points I want to leave you with. The first, my hope is that each of you see your own light and know that your presence creates ripples of magic that touch more lives than you can imagine. Number 2, in the face of anxiety and fear, and I realize some might feel that in these coming weeks, stay focused, choose resilience and a bias for positive action. And 3, this week, reflect on who in your life embodies wisdom and guidance. whether they are living or dead. Share your gratitude. Have a great week.